Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Let me know if all the audio is good. I think it's probably okay, but we will fix it if there's a problem. I think it's good. I'm looking at the levels here. Okay, anyway, before we get into the fun stuff today, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis, it's the game I'm working on right now. It's available for wishlisting on Steam. I'm going to try to make it so that by the end of October, there's another playtest available. So, yeah, we'll give it another month of development, and then I'll have another playtest available. And with a bunch of new features, a bunch of new content, specifically a lot of your quality of life feedback implemented. So, but there's still some work to do before we can do that. In the meantime, you could consider supporting the project on Patreon. We've got two tiers here. The top tier will get your name in the Alchemortis credits, as well as unlimited access to my course content. And if you want, you can also purchase the courses individually. These are linked below. This is the Create a Complete Online Co-op Multiplayer Game in Godot 4. It teaches you how to build a co-op online multiplayer game using all of the high-level networking tools in the Godot engine. So if you're interested in that, check it out. You can also join the Discord. You can like and subscribe, watch my other videos, all that good stuff. You know, the usual. And all your support, financial or otherwise, is greatly appreciated. So, what is the title of the stream? The title of the stream is Snail Cat and Other Things. Boom! Snail Cat. So for those maybe that are out of the loop, there is like this a series of weird drawings from around the medieval period. Hold on a second. Series of medieval drawings that actually have like snail cats. So I thought it would be kind of fun to put one in the game. And of course I'm getting a CAPTCHA here, so now I have to fill out the Google CAPTCHA to open this. I'm gonna just start using a different search engine, honestly. Okay, boom, that's Snail Cat. So this is an actual piece of like medieval artwork. Don't know why. I don't know if anyone knows why, but I thought it would be a fun card in the game. So there's that Snail Cat and there's my Snail Cat. Obviously it looks a little bit different, but I think it's generally got the same vibe. And for anyone that's familiar with the actual Snail Cat art, I think it'll be fun for those players to discover the Snail Cat in game. So yeah, that's Snail Cat. We're going to be adding this as a card, giving it some abilities and all that stuff. I have some interesting ideas. I think what I want it to do is absorb power from alchemical cards and exhaust them. So it will just take all the alchemical cards on the board, absorb their power, and not necessarily copy their abilities, but just gain power somehow based on the number of alchemical cards consumed, and then exhaust all the other ones. So it'd be kind of an interesting thing to build around, I think. But anyway, before we get into all of that, let's say hello to everyone. Hello, Defected Gaming, welcome. Yes, Snail Cat, welcome. Asymmetrics, good to see you again. Hello, Edo Makes Games. Welcome back. Hello, Meep. Is this where my Snail Cat ran off to? I guess so. I played the playtest and it's better than I expected. The main menu looks so good and the game is very smooth. Thank you, Edo Makes Games. How are wishlists going? I think I'm at around 800 wishlists now, which is good because I've barely marketed it. So the main marketing has been the devlog video, but also my recent editor tools video, which is a tutorial. I mentioned Alchemortis in there as well. So I think, you know, without doing a very serious marketing push so far, 800 is pretty good, but we got to get that number up for sure. Good morning, Dev Ghost. Snail Cat, yes. A snail and a cat both is campy. Hello, Hylaw, welcome. If there's a crafts person out there that can crochet a snail shell for a Azir, I'm sure he'd appreciate that, yeah. Daughter of a Bee, welcome. Neozoid, good to see you. Thank you, Snubbill, for the IDR 10,000. Always very generous and very much appreciated. Just 100%ed Swordslinger minutes ago. Wish there more of it, but had fun nonetheless. Thank you. I think you're one of the few people that has actually played Swordslinger, so appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Daily Rupees. Good morning, Ninja Link. Look at all these yummers. Look at all the yummers. We love the yummers, don't we, folks? Hello, Hayden Studio, 10 p.m. here. Good evening. Oh, yeah, good evening to you. Is it friend or foe? I'm going to make it a player card, yeah. Because I think it's kind of like a weird It can definitely be something alchemical. It's really cool, yeah. How long do you work on this daily? It varies. It could be a relatively low amount of hours, maybe 3 to 4, and it could also be very high, like 8 to 12. So it's kind of variable. It kind of depends, you know, me being self-employed too, sometimes I have other things to do during the day. So yeah, goat grinder next. Yeah, goat grinder would be cool. Hello, Ariane. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay, well, I've already drawn up the snail cat, so let's make the ability for it. So we're going to use the card creation tool, and we're going to create the snail cat. Kerblam. Snail cat. Here we go. Flavor text, we'll leave that empty for now. Snail cat. Dimensions 2 by 2. Turn cooldown, we'll make it 12. Is flippable, sure. Tags, it's a minion, and it's alchemical. Let's give it a hidden critical multiplier of 2. Or I guess it's not hidden anymore, so. Exclude from loot table, no, we don't want that. Okay, so now we can go into here. So now we need to create a composed ability. So let's see. Equals new composed ability. I did this wrong. Oh, I guess it's going to be one of those days where I can't type. Return ability builder dot new ability builder dot ability configuration. Abilities equals blank. Description func equals string dot empty. Scaling func is equal to tier. We'll just do this for now. Okay, we'll put this here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to target. Oh, this is going to be interesting, actually. I'm going to need to exhaust all of the... I'm going to need to exhaust all of the... Oh, this might have some new functionality here. I'm going to need to exhaust all the alchemical cards on start. On combat start. How am I gonna do that, actually? I don't think... Do I have something that executes on combat start anywhere? The closest thing I could think of is the basilisk eye. On combat started. That's not gonna work. I almost need, Oh, I didn't think about this. This is going to be tough. Let me look at my abilities. Do I have like a... I don't think I have anything like this, but let me just think about this for a second, because I'm trying not to add any new stuff. I'm trying to work with the functionality that I have, but it's very possible that I don't have a way... Okay, I don't have a way of executing immediately. I thought I had this somewhere, but maybe not. What is this? Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting. So there's a couple of parts that I need. So I need to indicate an ability that should be executed only at the start of combat. So I need an ability that can be executed only at the start of combat. I need to consider whether I want it to be one ability. So is the Snail Cat going to consume all alchemical cards and gain power as part of one ability? Or should it be split across two abilities? One ability is exhausts all alchemical cards, and the other ability is, yeah, probably just one ability. I think it's going to be easier as one ability. So we need one ability that can trigger some logic at the very beginning of combat. And we need to do that in a way that basically follows the same pattern. So I'm trying to think. Let me just look at the outline here. What are all my functions in here? So we've got base call. Okay, debug. Okay. Where's my functions? Are these functions? Add composed abilities, get base composed abilities, update board state contingent abilities, get base flattened abilities. Okay. So none of these are relevant. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to have to edit a lot of this stuff. On combat started. Sorry, I got to figure out where to put all this stuff. Emit combat started. Where is this used? Turn manager.start. Encounter began. Interesting. So we do the artifact on combat started first. And then what I want to do maybe is do turn tick, turn context. I think I'm trying to figure out how to slot in an ability that should start at the beginning of combat into the system that I have currently, instead of trying to build like a parallel system. Run execution. I mean, this is basically what I want, although I'm not going to have the turn context. Oh, goodness. I don't know. Was too busy drawing a goblin to set up the anti-yummers barrier this time. Yeah. Hello, Shabbos Tunes, welcome. Those weird animals as non-combat pet player flair would be cool. Ooh, yeah. Hello, Aunt Ned, welcome back. Snailcat does whatever Snailcat can. Maybe if you could use the card enough times, it just becomes that pet and passively gives a buff. Had to go early Zoom meet right on today. Have fun progressing on your game. Thank you. Appreciate it, Snupbill. Thanks for joining. You don't have that variable already? I guess not. Swordslingers is how I found your channel from a Reddit post years ago. Oh, nice. Snailcat, yes. Welcome, Roger. Time for game dev once again. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Always good to see you. Will you ever release a tutorial on how you do the summon grid? Be really good for a Tarkov or Resident Evil style inventory. I could do that, yeah. It would be a rather in-depth tutorial, but I think it would be useful. Finally back after missing the past couple streams. Welcome, Sam Studio. Saw that excuse me. I saw that the UI was new. Anything else that I missed? Not really. I think that's the big one. You know, a little few things here and there, but that's the major thing that I think you would have not seen. Well, this is kind of... I don't know why this is here. Oh, maybe I should put that there. Maybe I shouldn't move anything here. Okay. So, trackability execution. Oh, man. Get all combat executable abilities. iBoard state contingent ability. So I think the major thing is I definitely want to use this execute abilities here. Where is it? I definitely want to call this function. The problem is this function also logs the turns or the turn history, but I don't want that to happen for abilities that are like immediate executions on combat start. So I think I'll probably just need to introduce some conditionality in here to prevent that from trying to log. Now the question is, let's just start with that first. So public bool is immediate is combat start execution. So in my base card here, bar log turn history is equal to execution context dot is combat start execution. So not execution context is combat start execution. Card abilities executed entry. Abilities history entry equals null. turn history entry equals null. If log turn history, we'll assign these things. Okay, and then down here, if turn history entry not equal to null and ability history entry not equal to null, then we can log that. Okay. Is that the only place where this is used? I believe so. I think the rest of this is clear. And then I'll do this. If not execution context dot is combat start execution, we will tick the debuffs, the execution debuffs. Projected composed abilities dot clear. We're just gonna put that in there as well. Notify ability executed. I think everything else is okay in here. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new list here. Public list base card ability. Get all combat started abilities. We're going to need another... let's create another interface here. Can I create a new file? Hello? No new file. New file. I combat start ability. I really don't think that this needs to be anything special. I just need to have the interface. Start ability. Namespace. Game.data.ability. Okay, so we've got the interface now. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all abilities is equal to new list abilities is equal to get all composed abilities dot where x is combat start ability. Collect abilities recursively. Return all abilities. Okay. So now what I'm going to do in here. Oops, not that. Execute abilities in here. Abilities here. Can I just, let's say, abilities to execute is equal to execution context dot is combat start execution, question mark. Get all combat start abilities. Get all combat executable abilities. Okay. So I'm just going to get this flow working first. So the turn manager in here, what I want to do is in here, let's do this. Execute all combat start abilities. Private async. Do I need this to be a task? No. Private void execute all combat start abilities. For each var executor in turn executors. Let's do this. Public void run combat start. And what I'm going to do in here... turn tick. Oh man. No, I think this will be okay. I'm gonna want to do some testing, but we're gonna try this. So turn tick. What? Run combat start. Oh no. Am I no longer using this? I'm not using this one card to execute it anymore. I should probably clean that up, I think. Oh man, this is a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. So one problem that I'm kind of running into is what happens if my immediate ability that I execute, what happens if that triggers another card that should run? That logic is all handled in this do turn tick here. I almost wonder, it might be simpler to do something else here. I think maybe I'm going the wrong direction with this. I almost wonder if it would be simpler just to set the cooldown of the card to 0 right on start. I probably should just do that. I don't know why. I don't need this whole parallel system. Do I need this whole parallel system? I guess I don't really need this whole parallel system. I guess what I could do is I could just set the turn cooldown to finished immediately on combat start and just let the life cycle get handled naturally from that point. Because then I don't need to worry about all this state being different. Was I barking up the wrong tree? I might have been barking up the wrong tree. Logic in my brain says on combat start, switch all on combat start abilities to true. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but... Hello, Mun. Welcome. Snail Cat. Yes, we're working on the Snail Cat. Good morning to you, Emerson. Good morning, Mark. Literally no one. Firebelly, Snail Cat. Yeah. Maybe an array of combat start abilities that can be edited as you play. Just kickstart the array and combat start. Yeah, the problem is, like, I have all this state that needs to be maintained. Like, everything needs to flow through the same pipeline because the The problem, especially with a game of this complexity, is that if you have multiple parallel systems that are all doing something similar, it's very easy to either miss state that needs to be in place or to add state that shouldn't be in place. And that can create very subtle bugs down the line, but it can also make your system unpredictable, right? So like, for instance, like going back to my example, if I have an ability that's supposed to execute immediately on combat start, but that ability triggers another card to execute, like in the case of Swarm, that'll require some additional state that, if it's not managed properly by that combat start ability, is not going to actually trigger the card. So you could end up in a situation where, oh, this card is executing immediately, but some of its ability description doesn't function, right? So I think I probably am just overcomplicating this, honestly. So I probably want to, let me think. Yeah, I probably want to do that. Nothing good is ever easy, yeah. What is the use of the Snail cat? Sounds cool, at least. The idea is that it's gonna gain power based on all the alchemical cards on the board, but it's gonna exhaust all of the alchemical cards. I see you, Mr. Catman, yeah. Is that an enemy or the player's card? It's a player card, yeah. You don't need it, set the cooldown to 0. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Are we funking parallel dimensions now? We are. Save a work in progress commit, just in case they revert it. No, I don't think I'm gonna save the commit. I think Snail Cat is the best one yet. Awesome. I've duplicated the state issues all the time despite using a giant state chart. Yeah. Yeah, so we want to put everything through the same logical flow. So I'm going to manually walk a lot of this back because I did make some changes that I want to keep. This is going away. I think everything in here actually is no longer necessary. So we're going to undo that. Combat start ability, these can go. Execution context, this is no longer needed. This change, yeah. All this stuff is fine. That change was good, so we'll just remove those. Okay. So this should be a lot simpler, I think. Scroll up. So I still have the problem of I need to determine when combat has started, but it's going to be a lot simpler. I have this on combat started here. Do I want to do that there? I'm still going to have a problem though. Let me think. I still need to coordinate what happens when the turn cooldown starts filled when the combat starts. What? Post cooldown tick. Wow, this is tricky. This is very tricky, very tricky, very tricky. The problem is that if the snail is going to go immediately, it basically needs to run this logic. But the problem is this logic will also tick the turns of everything else immediately as well, which is not the result that I want. I really don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't want the artifact managers to do their turn tick on the first immediate tick. I don't want to tick statuses. But I do want to do all this. I mean, the easy thing to do here is... Where is this current history being used? Is this being used nowhere? Okay, I guess that's just irrelevant. Don't want to do the necrosis tick. We don't want to increment the turn index. So we don't want to do this. Emit tick life cycle started. Oh, maybe we do want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do this. We do want to do this. We do want to do that. we do want to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make this work. This is gonna screw all kinds of things up. I'm doing all right, Real Cruda. How are you doing? Question about Snail Cat card ability. Is it going to do that every time it drops? So you end up with just Snail Cat by the end? Well, it's going to exhaust alchemical, but it doesn't exhaust permanently. It's just for that combat. Snail Cat versus Big Boss Guy. Hello, Polaris. Thank you. Welcome back. Currently doing a Space RTS upgrade system, so know how you feel can get unwieldy pretty fast. Yeah. Not to mention, as things scale up, it takes even longer to build maintain code. Right. Just adds complexity, but a combat start priority variable. It's not really a question of how to identify abilities that execute first. It's a question of how to keep all the game state sensical when that happens. So it's not about the ability itself. I know how to do the ability. It's about how to get it to slot into the system in an elegant way that makes use of what's already here without modifying the state. Because like one thing that's going to be tricky is like the necrosis stacks is based on the turn index, but if I have an immediately updating card, it's going to increment the turn index immediately, which is effectively going to reduce the necrosis threshold. So if I had 5 cards that all executed immediately on my board, it would reduce the necrosis threshold by 5 immediately because it's going to log up the turn index. But if I don't log up the turn index, then I'm not going to have a proper turn history entry to read in the turn history data, which is also going to be a problem because the Snail Cat, for instance, might execute an ability that another card needs to be able to read from the turn history. Man, I don't know how to do this. It could be a game design decision too. I could just say immediately executed cards don't add anything to the turn history. Oh, maybe I was wrong about the turn index. The necrosis turn threshold will only ever go down by 1 with an immediately executing card. But then there's other considerations too, like if the enemy card has an immediately executing ability that exhausts my snail, the snail shouldn't be able to then, well, I guess, no, that wouldn't happen. Never mind. It could happen in the other direction though. The player could exhaust an enemy card that also is supposed to immediately execute, and then the card shouldn't execute after that. So yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. I don't know. Cooldown of 0 can work for that card, but I think you need to consider how other abilities alchemized onto that card are going to work as well. Right. What happens when you send that ability to a card with a larger cooldown? Yeah. I mean, maybe I just don't even need to do this. Maybe I should just not do immediately executing cards. If I wanted a quasi immediately executing card, I could create an ability where it's like, it's got a cooldown of 1 to start, and then it goes up to 10 after the first execution. That would be an easy cop-out. The other thing, too, is I could just not do an immediate execution for the Snail Cat and just have it so that when it finishes its turn, it then exhausts all the alchemical abilities and then gains some power for future executions. So now I'm starting to think that maybe just having like immediately executing cards is going to add a bunch of unnecessary complexity when I can accomplish basically the same thing using the systems I already have in place. So I think, honestly, that's probably the approach that I'm going to take, because it's really, really important that this system doesn't become super unwieldy. I mean, it already kind of is, but everything is, like the way that it's structured now, everything is processing logically, right? Cards have a turn cooldown. When they execute, all of the debuffs and buffs and turn cooldown ticks are handled properly. So adding another condition now in there where I have cards that can execute basically at the -1 turn index or whatever is just going to create a lot of complexity where there doesn't need to be any. So I think what I'll do is not do that, and if I have to make the card more powerful to account for the fact that it's got a longer turn cooldown, then I'll do that. But I think that that's probably going to be the most reasonable thing to do. So maybe we'll just do that. What's half distracted is the issue about the order in which multiple cards at battle start activate. No, it's not the order, it's just all the state, like the turn history. Because remember, I have this turn history object which basically logs all of the abilities that have happened in the order that they happen in. And the reason why I have that is because I have some cards like the slime, which will go to the turn history in here to read all of the damage that has been done to the player. It will sum all of that up and then do damage based on that. So the things like the turn history data is going to get messed up by immediately executing cards and all that stuff. Ticker's the issue. All things seem to revolve around the ticker. Yeah. Tell that ticker guy to back off. What happens if the snail cat is given swarm? Does it turn 0 trigger everything else? It could, yeah. Or that was the idea. Maybe it's time to refactor. Yeah, I don't know. Can you create a turn history copy and read from that? Maybe? You must make human sacrifices to appease the snail cat implementation. Offer myself as tribute. The rest of us will follow. Hello, Vicious the End. It's going well. How are you doing? Snail cat makes you rethink life, yeah. What is that? Is that 2 ducks? Why choose C#? Just personal preference. That's it. Okay. Excuse me. I gotta figure out how this is working. Ability projector. Can I use the ability projector? I might be able to use the ability projector. Ability builder.echo. Sorry, I just gotta figure out where this is being used. I think what I'll do is I'll just recreate this. We're gonna call this one, oops. What are we gonna call this one? New file buff applicator. What? Buff container.add buff. I just gotta figure out how my buff system is working here. Get explanations. Oh, get ability explanation. Oh, I see. Okay, this is a little bit weird, but we're gonna do it. Okay, var buff applicator is equal to new buff applicator. I think I need to create, this probably just needs to be a no. Okay, so in here, new exhaust debuff, duration. Where should this be? I don't even know what's going on here. I guess I could just put 0 in there. Var conditional ability decorator. Is equal to new conditional ability decorator. Decorated ability. So this in here now, execution count provider dot get value is less than 1. Okay, so basically what I've set up here is this buff applicator is going to target alchemical boards on the alchemical cards on the entire board. It's going to apply the exhausted debuff to all those cards, but only if it hasn't been executed. So that's what this line of code does. And then I can do this conditional ability decorator there. I think that's all I need to do. I just want to see if that much works, honestly. Let's turn this turn cooldown down to 3, I guess. And let's just do game debug. Let's do snail cat, and then frog, and frog. Goodness. Is that an accident, snail cat? It could be an alchemical accident. It is now. I fear no one but this thing, yeah. Game development, nice. Welcome, JKHE. Hello. I actually started considering maybe using Godot Rust when needed for 2 reasons. WASM and ecosystem access. There are some neat libraries out there. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely a strong argument in using a language besides GDScript is the ability to use like other libraries. After inventing Snailcat, and then peace spread all over the world, and everybody knew him. Fred Durst just might break something tonight. That's funny. Come on, my game keeps crashing when I have training dummies created. Is this? Oh, I have a feeling this is not going to work. It did not work. Oh, I need to add the query target provider here, I think. Okay, let's try it again. We're going to get this working. We'll get it working if it's the last thing that I do. Okay. Now it keeps adding exhausted, which is what I was trying to avoid. Why is that not working? Let's put a breakpoint there. Oh, do I need to put the execution count provider in here too? Maybe I do. Hold on, where is this used? I think maybe that's what I need to do. Okay, yeah, now it's working. So it's not applying more than one exhaust now. Okay. Snail cat. Whew, well, that took a while to get just to that point, but basically, so that's working. Now we just need to take the number of query targets and scale some kind of value based on that. So what kind of thing should the Snail Cat do based on... So again, it's going to basically exhaust all the alchemical cards on the board, and it needs to do something in response. So let me know what you want the Snail Cat to do when it consumes basically those alchemical cards, and we'll get that working. In the meantime, I'll do this. It meows. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you want the Snail Cat to do based on how many alchemical cards it has exhausted. In the meantime, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It minus equals 1 random stat and adds it to Snail Cat. Once a card is fully exhausted, it deletes itself from the player area. Snail Cat grows to fill the spaces, ultimately becoming Super Saiyan Snail Cat. Well, it's an interesting idea, but I can't accomplish that. So, but we will see if we can do something interesting. Mystic Kalkai, welcome. Good to see you. Snail Cat multiplies current status on enemies per exhausted card ratio about 4 cards equals 2x. Interesting. Interesting. That is an interesting one. Oh my gosh, you're just trying to make Snail Cat as hard of a card to develop as possible, right? Multiplies current status on enemies per exhausted card. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a look at this. I'm just trying to look and see how feasible that would be. I think that would be feasible. That is an interesting one. Maybe we'll do that one. I think you may have figured it out. Yeah, I got it. Gain 2 preserve per tier of card exhausted, increasing necrosis by a multiplier. Like your vids, very informative. Here to watch you make your next game. Awesome. Know the ins and outs of coding, seeking the most difficult solution whenever possible. Yeah. What happens if Snail abilities alchemize onto an alchemical card? By default, any card that says it exhausts cards of a type does not affect itself. So when it says exhausts alchemical cards, it means every card except itself. I think that's a general rule I'm going to follow. Like if a card matches a tag of one of its abilities, the query system does not account or does not include the card that is executing the ability in the query result, which I think is sensible. I think this actually would be possible. I like the idea of like duplicating statuses or having a multiplier on the statuses. So if I do public base status duplicate, I can return. Oh, how do I do this? Oh, do I need to do an override? Because this is an abstract class. Okay, we'll just do public abstract duplicate. So then I need to add this. So public override void duplicate. Return new bleed status stacks. Oh, this needs to be base status. I think that's it. So I need to duplicate these so I get a new reference. Duplicate fire status stacks. Duplicate necrosis status. Duplicate poison status. Should it also duplicate the shield of the enemy? That'd be kind of fun. Shield status. It should be the current stacks value, I think. Yeah, so we'll take the current stacks value. I think this one is not. Oh no, they're all using the, yeah. So a shield here. Base status duplicate, shield status current stacks. Okay. So now the snail cat. How am I gonna do this? Dang, you guys are. Making this very difficult for me. How do I want to do this? Query target provider. I think what I want to do is... Yeah, I think what I want to do is do this. Status provider.cs. I'm just going to model it after the query target provider here. This does not need to be an iBoard queryable. Status provider, public bool for enemy board. Get rid of this. Execution result. Here we go. var statuses is equal to dot target board. Let's do for target board. We'll keep the language the same. Status component dot get. How do I get all the statuses? This is some BS. Oh, get all non-necrosis statuses, right? Get all non-necrosis statuses. That's a relatively long line, but whatever. So statuses, public, it's a list, right? List, base status, statuses, private set there. Oops. Return execution result dot empty. What? Why is this not working? Oh, return empty result. Right, okay. This can go away. Okay. List. Actually, let's just make this private. List base status, get statuses, return statuses. Okay, back to the snail cat now. var status provider is equal to new status provider. For target board is equal to true. Okay. Goodness gracious. You guys are making me work for this one. It's going to be one of the most interesting cards in the game, that's for sure. Let's do conditional exhaust. So now we've got the status provider. Now we're going to need to do this. Oh goodness. var conditional fire is equal to new conditional ability decorator. We need to decorate the fire ability, so now here's a question. I don't know how to get the status values from the status provider. I wonder if there's a simpler way to do this. I might have to create a status applicator. Duplicating status is cool, but dang, that would require a massive board to make any use of it unless you got some luck alchemy rolls. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll see how it works. I can change the numbers too. It doesn't matter. Should write this card says exhaust all other. Well, if other is the default, then I don't think I need to say it, right? If it just always works that way, then I don't think I need to clutter my descriptions with that extra word. I just joined. What's a snail cat? The name reminds me of Slug Cat from Rain World. This is Snail Cat. This is the Snail Cat. Is there any way to grow the play area? Yes. Yes, there is. I feel like the ability and status systems you've built for this game can carry over to so many different games. Yeah, the status systems are very, very similar to the status systems I've built in my other games for sure, yeah. I don't know if it's exactly like portable over, but the strategy is generally the same. You have a status component, and then you've got like a bunch of different statuses that all override or implement the same abstract class, or extend the same abstract class is the word I want to use. And then the status component just handles managing the tick life cycles of the statuses, whereas the status scripts themselves determine how long their ticks are, what thing they do on each tick, and so on and so forth. So it's a very common pattern that I'm using, especially in this game, is I've got something that manages the life cycle, and then the thing that has its life cycle being managed contains the logic about how it actually applies whatever it's going to apply when its life cycle gets triggered or when its tick gets triggered. How did you make the progress border around the cards look so good? Yeah, it's just very basic. It's card. There's this card border mask here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Card turn indicator. So this is basically just a texture here that just sits along the border of the card. And then I have a shader to just apply a very subtle noise effect to the edges of it based on a progress value. So if I look at the material here, shader parameters, this progress value is a 0 to 1 range. So as I go up to 1, it fills that border. See? It's very simple. Very, very simple. Maybe after this game is done, you should box up individual systems as standalone for the Godot asset store to help start building that up. If they're doing paid assets by then, I don't know. That could be useful, yeah. I need advice. I'm tired. I have this deadline to finish the game before Halloween. I have tons of studies, new subjects I don't understand, a thing in them. I don't know what to do. My mind will explode. Well, I mean, I think, like, is the deadline, like, the deadline sounds like something you've imposed on yourself. So if other things have to take priority, then let other things take priority. You know, it's, having a deadline is good, but if you're dogmatically adhering to the deadline to the detriment of your other areas of life, then you might even consider just dropping game dev entirely at the moment to focus on the more important things like your studies, right? If you're overworking yourself because you're trying to do too many things at once, maybe the solution is to drop some of the things that you're trying to do at once, you know? Looks cute, almost like a Pokemon. Thank you. I think so. Please no sue Nintendo. Please no. I'm still in grade 9. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in grade 9 for many years, but I also didn't apply myself in school at all because I thought it was pointless, but maybe I shouldn't say that to somebody who's still in school. Anyway, it's actually a little, I can share a funny Firebelly anecdote with you guys. So in 5th grade, I've always been a very good speller, like just spelling words. And probably because I used to read a lot as a kid, so I was able to actually see a lot of different words and how they were spelled. Anyway, I was a stellar speller, so to speak. But in 5th grade, we still had spelling homework, which was just like these little worksheets where you've got to like spell out all these 20 different words in a row. And I aced literally every single one of those that I did, to the point where I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I didn't do my spelling homework. I chose not to because it was dumb and I didn't need to do it. And my teacher had to call my parents and say, hey, Jacob, aka Firebelly, is refusing to do his spelling homework, and like, I can't have that. And so my parents had to sit me down and be like, look, we know that you're good at spelling, we know that this is pointless, but you can't just not do your homework. Anyway, funny little anecdote for you. I feel like we have a few younger teens here. I should watch my jokes. Yeah. Thank you a lot for your advice. Yeah, I hope it helps. I mean, I think part of it too is like you're still young and like, life is starting to get a little bit more complicated. So just have some patience with yourself, I think. Scratch Pokemon, it looks like Pal from Pal World, yeah. Yeah. Good speller, hard to believe now, sus, I know. My spelling capability has definitely degraded over time, but it's alright. When I was in 5th grade, I could spell zucchini like a pro, so whatever, it's fine. Good speller equals snail cat enjoyer, yeah. You guys have given me the hardest card in the entire game to work on. Goodness gracious. This is the most complicated card I've built the entire time. So basically what I need to do is I've got this status provider. So this is going to give me all the statuses of the current enemy board. But the next step is to take all those statuses and apply a duplicate version of the status. Only if the status exists. So the conditional part is fine. The conditional part is fine. The part that's not fine is I need to reach into the value of the status provider here. Whatever's returned by this, I need to duplicate all these statuses, scale the stacks based on a multiplier that is set by the amount of alchemical cards that have been consumed, and then apply those. And I'm trying to do it all in a way that's like reusable. Like this status provider is probably going to be useful elsewhere. So that's just like a little piece of data that I can get. But yeah, as far as actually applying the statuses, I may just make... maybe I'll just make this easy on myself. I think the status component already ignores 0 status applications. So I might not even need... see. Yeah, if status.stacks is less than or equal to 0, return. So if as a result of my multiplier I end up with a status with a 0 stack, I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that automatically as part of the status component. So what I might do is I might just create a status applicator ability that has a built-in multiplier. I mean, that's probably the simplest thing to do, honestly. So we don't need this conditional ability decorator. I'm just part of the issue is I'm trying to design this in as generic a way as possible so that the new abilities that I'm writing are reusable in a different context. I really like using this kind of like providing functions everywhere. I don't even know if that's the right word, but we're going to do it. For each var status and statuses to apply, target board is equal for target board, source board, status component dot apply status. Status. Oh, I need the execution context as well. Apply status context. Are you kidding me? New apply status context. Okay. What is the execution context even used for here? Oh, it's tracking the status applied, right? Okay. So now we've got a status applicator. So now in my Snail cat here, var status applicator is equal to new status applicator. Oops. Var statuses is equal to status provider.get statuses.select x.duplicate. For each var status in statuses, we're going to do statuses status.set stacks to status.stacks times, we're going to need a multiplier up here. Whatever, var multiplier is equal to 1. This is going to need to change because the multiplier needs to scale based on the tier now, but we can return status here. Statuses. Okay, and then we can put the status applicator in here. Goodness gracious. Okay, all right. Okay, let's try something now. Let's add a scythe. And we should see this working. Can you even pet a snail cat? Yeah, I guess it depends on if the cat is furry or if it's slimy. I guess you could pet it in either case, but one case is obviously preferable to the other. Maybe the craziest, but it will open a whole new world of possibilities. Yeah, no need to thank me. Can you even cat a snail pet? Division's coming next. Looks like a cat wearing a snail shell. That's what it is. That's what it is. Just curious, are there any deck builder templates on a Godot asset store? I'm not aware. I don't know. Probably, but probably not. Raft a tool. I'm working on a game with cards, but I'm using control nodes. I noticed that you're using 2D nodes. What are the advantages of using 2D nodes over control nodes? So I am using control nodes for the cards in some respects, like for detecting the mouse events. So that is definitely something that is happening. Why did I ultimately use control nodes? Or, I mean, node 2Ds. I just thought it was easier to set up all the card art using node 2Ds and node positioning. I guess there's not... I'm trying to think. There was a distinct reason why I did that. Yeah, I think I just personally found it easier to work with node 2Ds for the card art. But I can't recall exactly what the reason was, because that was something that I decided on at the very beginning of the project, which was, you know, just about 6 months ago now. So I wish I could provide a better answer, but I don't have one. I'm sorry. Is there a reason Alchemortis is being developed in C# just for personal preference? Yeah. I mean, this kind of game, I mean, look at what I'm doing here. And I've got all these, like, you know, base card ability, abstract class, and like, I feel like the structure and the flow of the data is just a lot more manageable in C#. Plus, you know, I've got things like link, which makes things like my board inventory component querying the board so much easier. I mean, you know, I've got sets. I'm making heavy use of sets, doing exclusions, unions, that kind of thing. Here's an example of link. Here's an example of link. Here's an example of link. I mean, all this stuff can functionally be replicated in GDScript, but I think the developer experience for building this kind of game is a lot nicer in C# for sure. Oh, wow. Your cats aren't furry? Oh, that's true. Make a furry but covered in slime, best of two worlds. I wish GDScript had sets. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, you can't go wrong with GDScript, really. C# has generics. Yeah, it has generics as well. Okay, let's see if this works. So if this works, what should happen is this snail cat should duplicate the bleed that's being applied by the scythe there. And it, oh, it applied bleed to myself. Oh, I forgot to set. Okay, well, that's working. But the status applicator .for target board has to be true here. Ooh, that is ugly. No, I'm not doing that. Nope. It's taking me, not including the time it took me to draw the card this morning, it's taking me like 3 hours to build this one card. Oh, goodness. That's just the way it goes, though. Some of the interesting cards are going to be more involved, and then things like the Scythe, where it's just apply 3 bleed, can be done in 5 minutes. So that's just how it goes. So now this Scythe should apply bleed, and then it should go up to 6 right there. And then if we look at the combat log, Snail Cat applied 3 bleed twice. Oh, very cool. Oh. It's applying the bleed that it applied as well. That's cool. The Snail Cat is not going to have this big of a turn cooldown, or this slow of a turn cooldown. But I suppose it would be possible to alchemize the Snail Cat onto a card that has a very quick turn cooldown, in which case you're just going to ramp up the applications. Oh, I didn't think about that. Snail Cat. Okay. So that's working. So the last piece of the puzzle now is to get this multiplier to change based on based on 2 things. The multiplier needs to change. So the multiplier needs to be based on the tier of the card as well as the number of alchemical cards consumed. So we are going to need a value scaler. Var stack scalar, let's call it value scalar, is equal to new value scalar. We can actually move this down. So the stack value scalar, new value scalar, int source provider, query target provider. Oh, don't tell me I can't do this. Do I need a query count provider? I may be able to merge these together. To do merge with query target provider. In any case, I think the unfortunate thing is I'm just going to have to do this query count provider. Let's go to new query target or query count provider. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. No. Okay. stack value scalar dot set multiplier. Okay. Const float base multiplier. Okay. So now what we're going to do is in this scaling function down here, var scalar is equal to ability scalars dot make additive scalar. Can I do float additive scalar? And then what I can do is down here, stack value scalar dot set multiplier, scalar original magnitude tier. So the original magnitude is the base multiplier. Do I need to make this an additive scalar? Make float multiplier scalar. I guess I could just make it a multiplier scalar. Original magnitude. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. What? Oh. Original magnitude and tier. This is going to be stack value scalar dot get multiplier. Goodness gracious. Mathf dot floor to int. I wonder what this does under the hood. Does this just do an int cast? Okay, I see. Goodness gracious, look at how complex this ability is. Okay, now let's write the description. Exhausts all alchemical cards. Oh, how do I want to word this? Adds. How am I going to word this? For each status on the enemy board, add more stacks equal to values stack value scalar dot get multiplier for each non-necrosis status on the enemy board, add more stacks equal to whatever 0.25x the current number. I don't know if that's clear enough, but let's see. For all you kids still in school, go to the cool kids table and ask what they use. I bet they all use C#. Yeah. Okay, exhaust all alchemical cards. For each non-necrosis status on the enemy board, add more stacks equal to 0.5x the current number of stacks. So what I should see in here... Wait, did I account for... So if I exhaust... Oh, I didn't... Okay, anyway. this should be applying 3 stacks the way that it should work. I just don't know how to word this. This should apply 3 stacks of bleed when it goes. So we're gonna have 3 bleed there. It only applied 4. Okay. Why is that happening? Oh, this needs to be get value. Right. Okay, let's try it again. Pretty sure the cat just scratched you. Sometimes efficiency is a dream. Cat attacked its owner, work as intended, yeah. Working as intended. Okay. I should see 6 stacks applied. Or it's going to go to 3 and then to 6. And it didn't do either of those things. This value should be 1 here because this is going to be a value of 2, and this multiplier here is going to get set to 0.5 from the scaling function. So 0.5 times 2 is 1. So it should basically double the stacks, but I'm going to print the value and see. What does bleed do? Bleed makes it so that every time an enemy card executes or triggers, the enemy board takes damage equal to the number of bleed stacks. It's printing 0. Source value times multiplier. Oh, I forgot to add the query count provider here. That would be why. So again, the way that this works is like all these providers and stuff, these are actually technically abilities that have an execute function. And so to get all these abilities to work together, I actually need to provide those as abilities that get executed in this abilities array. Can you stop? My cat is being annoying. Come here. Come here, Sharima. Come here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Maybe you need something like true bleed and copied bleed so only the true status gets copied. Yeah, I might need to do something like that, but we'll see. Should double all statuses on the board, even your own. Oh, that would be interesting. It would be kind of interesting to have like an enemy ability that inverts a card so that if it's supposed to target the enemy, it targets the player instead. Hey, there we go. Okay, we're almost done. Why does it have 2? Why does it have 2 grid indicators? That's not good. I'll have to fix that as well. Anyway, that is working as intended. So now I just need to change this description here. Let's get rid of this increment tier. For each non-necrosis status on the enemy board, add more stacks equal to... Oh, I don't know if that makes sense at all. I don't know how to word this. That would need to be a property of every status, though. Yeah, it could be. Add more stacks based on number X seems less elegant than multiplies by. Small brain people like me are scared of words. Exhaust all alchemical cards. For each exhausted alchemical card, increase the current enemy's status stacks by 0.25x the current number of stacks. I mean, I think that's all right. It's just not... I wish I could get that clearer. Maybe I should just change that to a percentage. Would that be easier? Would it be accurate to say it's a percentage? Description utils dot float 2%. Would that be better, I wonder? Hello Artem, welcome back. Random artifact idea, like a scale or a coin or something that has a 50% chance to make your cards attack at 1 tier higher or 1 tier lower. That would be interesting. I wonder how that would work technically, but it would certainly be interesting. So this says, exhausts all alchemical cards. For each exhausted alchemical card, increase current enemy status stacks by 25%. I think that makes more sense. This is not applying anything though because the bleed is not high enough. Wait a minute. It should be increasing by at least 1. What in the heck? Why is it not increasing by at least 1? Why is the get value 0? Oh, wait a minute. Wait, why is this not 0.5? I don't know why this is not 0.5. Oh, because it's returning an int. Ah. Oh, this is returning an int. That's returning an int. Oh, that's not good. Shoot. I don't even think, let's see. Do I even need this? Multiplier times query target provider dot get. Oh no, query count provider. Maybe that makes more sense. Okay, let's see. So let's guess that's close to what the sundial does. It kind of is, but not really. Could also affect healing preserve, yeah. I think it could work. Would really suck to go against a preserve-based enemy build while using that cat. Yeah, I think that would be the downside of the cat, is that because it affects all statuses that are not necrosis, it could duplicate the shield. Now that's not necessarily a problem if you're using poison, because poison bypasses the shield. So you could probably just do a poison build. Okay, there we go. So this is increasing by 50%. So if we got a value of 3, it's increasing it by 1 because half of 3 is 1.5, rounded down is 1. Okay, let's see if this works with other things as well. Like the ceremonial dagger. And this query count, well, it's okay. I think it's basically done. I have to figure out why there are 2 of those things. I think I know why, I just need to fix it. Is this alchemical? No. So it should also affect the poison stacks. Oh, but it's not gonna... Yeah, it's not gonna have... It only applies 1 stack of poison. I can fix that. I can fix it. We do this first, and then the snail cat, and then this and this and that. Is that not working? Oh, it's not going to work anyway because it's only 1 poison. What do I have that's better at poison? I guess the giant squid. I'm going to run out of room though. Also, writing the exclusion at the start of the phrase makes it a bit more confusing. Maybe add doesn't affect necrosis at the end. Maybe. We'll see. Exhaust all alchemical cards for each one exhausted. Amplify the enemy's current status stacks by 25% of their existing value. That's a good one. Am I going to be able to do this? Yes, let's try it. Could make float to percent method an extension method for floats if you want. Yeah, I could. Oh, the squid is alchemical too. Son of a biscuit. We're just going to remove the alchemical tag from the squid for now. I just want to see that this is working with freaking poison. Should have a fire toad doing M, a healing toad doing the C, and a preserved toad doing the A. I don't know what all that means. Is that a reference that I'm not getting? Okay, here we go. Snail cat applied 4 poison. So wait. 2, 2, 2. That's 8. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Cool. So it's working. Goodness gracious. Okay, put alchemical back on the giant squid. Goodness gracious. Okay. I think we finished it. I mean, I'm gonna have to edit the description and stuff, but get rid of that. Let me open up my obsidian board. Did I not add snail cat? What? Oh, did I never add snail cat? Okay, anyway. Snail cat, we need the flavor text, and we also need to fix duplicate grid indicator. Okay. Add snail cat. It's done. Wow, that took forever. Still some stuff to clean up around the edges, but no squid, snail, cat combo possible. Burn it all down. Yeah, I mean, you could alchemize it for sure. Oh, the poison toad is doing the Y, then they can do MCA. I got you, I got you. Should add the ability to set the tier of cards on your debug settings. Yeah, I should be able to, I should do that. Hello, Clicker Tail. Welcome. Glad you popped in to say hi. Really cool seeing you work live. Impressive amount of stuff you've been keeping track of at once. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying. I hope it's useful. I hope it's fun to watch. But anyway, that'll be it for the stream today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Again, Alchemortis is available for wish listing on Steam. It's the first line in the description below. So if you want to check it out, please do so. I've also got the Patreon, the Discord, my Udemy courses, all of that stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, please check it out. All of it's linked below. And hope you all have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.